Welcome to Trevor Overload.
What's going on, everybody? How's your week been? Welcome back to my show. This is Trevor Suckles Toes. I'm your host, Ash Williams, and this is my boomstick. God, you guys know Army of Darkness? That's a great one. So many good one-liners, dude. I think all of them went to the Doom video game, so you'll probably be familiar with a lot of them. Man, we're getting into summertime. My garage is hot, so mind the sweat. I got lights beaming on me from every direction that I couldn't figure out. Just been a nightmare. Anyway, this is my show, and let's get right into it with a story from my past. So, this week I wanted to tell you about our little adventures in the barn. So, growing up out in the sticks, my dad had a barn, as you do. I mean, where else are you going to put your tractor? Then they also had a old couch that we put out there. You know, plans to sell it or whatever. You wrap it in plastic, put it out there for 10 years, and then just wait until the rats and raccoons shit in it. So I took all the plastic off and I set up a little gaming zone out there. You know, I took my old Nintendo 64 out there, and then my cousin lived right next door, so I'd hang out there all night. He'd come over, we'd play Super Smash Brothers, we'd play Mario Kart 64, all the great multiplayer games, you know. Game Man would come over and we'd all play. I'd get to smoke cigarettes out there. Obviously, that's why I was out there. Just being a 16-year-old dipshit, you know. This story, though, I was hanging out with a different buddy, one of my Happy Valley buddies. His name's Rob, and I actually got to reconnect with him before I started to tell this story, which has been really cool about reliving some of these, you know. Some of these guys I haven't talked to in years, and I've been able to hit up on Instagram and just kind of reconnect, pick their brain about any of the details of the story I might have missed out on. But him and I came to the same conclusions for the story. So good to know that our memories are both spot on. So Rob came over. He was hanging out. He played guitar and I played the drums. So we'd try to jam a little bit. We were playing video games at night, as you do, smoking cigarettes. He smoked cigarettes too. So obviously we were the cool kids. But we didn't have anything that night. So we didn't have any weed. We didn't have any booze. So we wanted some. And so I had a truck, it was a GMC Sonoma. It was a 97, I believe. Parked at my parents' house. I didn't want to wake my parents up. My mom's window was close enough that I figured lighting up my truck would wake her up. And I didn't want to. So, like I said before, we had like a quarter-mile driveway. So we just started pushing my truck up. And I was so paranoid about this that I just kept pushing and pushing. We just kept pushing the truck farther and farther and farther up the road. Because I figured her supersonic hearing was going to, you know, hear the truck light up at any time, and then we'd get in trouble. We ended up pushing all the way, and I thought we were coming close to the end of the driveway, but I really didn't know how close. It was dark. I couldn't see. The lights weren't on. Left the lights off too. Oh, God, the paranoia is unreal. So we kept pushing the truck, and I had, of course, the intention of jumping in, hitting the brakes, light it up at the end of the driveway, and head into town. Except I couldn't see where the end of the driveway was. So I just kept pushing. Rob's still pushing, and by the time I go to jump into the truck, it's already too late. We're already at the end of the driveway. Wheels have hit. Now they've gone from dirt to main road, and it just starts rolling. I guess it was sloped a little bit, and after the dirt and after the road was a big-ass ditch. So we end up pushing at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, that truck into a ditch that's at the end of the driveway. God, how stupid can you be, man? So we freak out. What am I going to do? How am I going to explain this? But in a stroke of genius, I have my wallet on me, and I remember my mom's got AAA. So we've got 3 calls a year, then they'll come out, no charge, no nothing, and they'll pull you out of the ditch. Or they'll give you gas, or they'll tow you, or whatever you need. In this case, I needed them to pull me out of a ditch. And sure enough, it worked. I cannot believe it worked. I'm freaking out the whole time. Heart's racing that my mom's going to see all the flashing lights from the tow truck and wake up and drive down and see what the fuck is going on. But luckily, that didn't happen. They just came, winched me out, put us back on the road, and we got to go. We got to go into town. And the story, that's not even the best part of the story. We went into town and ended up finding a bum. I mean, it took us like 3 different bums, but we found one that was willing to buy us beer. And this was, early 2000s. I graduated 2005. So yeah, 2002, 2003, where bums were still trusting and not everybody was a cop. And sure enough, all you had to do was offer them a couple beers and or a Mad Dog 2020, and they were happy as shit to get you what you wanted. So, I mean, we gave him the cash. He went over, bought us. Rob remembered this. Shout out to Rob, who I got into this stupid ass story with. Shout out to you, man. He remembered that the bum bought a St. Pauli girl. And I remember it was so terrible at the time. I mean, we didn't have refined palates. We were just drinking Coors Light and bullshit. But, yeah, St. Pauli's girl. I don't even think we caught a buzz that night, to be honest. I think we ended up going back and, by the time we were back and ready to drink them, they're getting warm, and we just kind of passed out and called it good. Anyway, that was fun. That was a great time. That was great to relive, and it was great to reconnect with you, Rob. So that was fun. All right, let's get into cool shit as a kid. And thinking back, I was like, what was one of the cool shows I liked? And it brought me right to Dragon Ball Z. God, I know you know Dragon Ball Z because it's still around. This was when Dragon Ball Z was on TV with commercials, and they'd play them out one after the other. So it was episodic, and they'd play the next day the one in the next order. So it was perfectly timed where we got off the school bus at like 3:15, and we'd run home on the driveway, and we'd get to that TV at 3:30, which was right when it started. And dude, watching Dragon Ball Z was the coolest. There's nothing cooler to me, I think, than watching like people power up and level up and then grow their powers. And when I tell you watching Goku go from Kaioken to Super Saiyan, that whole plot line when he goes Super Saiyan and levels up so much, I don't think I've ever felt anything cooler when I was a kid. To watch them go, yeah, and the hair poof, go into gold. Dude, it was so incredibly sick. You don't realize how slow the show is paced when you're a kid. I guess then you kind of start to. God, I remember when Goku's on the Snake Way path or whatever for 472 episodes, it felt like. And it was so funny watching that show because you'd follow along and you'd wait and you'd wait and you'd wait, and there'd be little things that happened where he's getting closer and closer to the end. And God, you know it's finally almost there. And then they would, for whatever reason, reset the entire storyline back to square one, and you'd have to rewatch everything over and over again. I figure it's because the show probably wasn't caught up. They were dropping episodes in Japan or whatever, and they weren't dubbed. We didn't have them yet. But man, that slap in the lips would happen to us so many times. You'd finally be getting to where you were going to get completion of this arc, and nope, they just yank the rug out from under you and make you rewatch everything again. Which actually gave us a lot of appreciation for the show because, then you'd watch it again, you'd catch all the dialogue, all the little things, you'd really fall in love with the characters, and it really made you a fan. And dude, Dragon Ball Z, it's still out there. They're still making new stuff, but it'll never recaptivate that feeling I had when I was watching it, getting off the bus in middle school and just running down that driveway to watch Goku go, yeah, yeah, for 12 episodes before his hair lit up gold. Still the coolest thing ever. Ka-me. If you've watched it, And yeah, that was super sick. Let's wipe the sweat off and get into cool stuff as an adult. And this one didn't take much thinking because it's kind of relevant to me today too. I was thinking of P90X. P90X, dude, this has been something I've been doing for like 20 years now. Like, I was there when it came out on the TV, on the infomercials, and Mr. Tony Horton was offering this exercise regime that you could follow and get as fit as you could ever be, It worked on me, man. He sold me. I bought into that shit 100%. And so I ended up ordering it for $4,000 or whatever the fuck it was back then. 9 easy payments of $29.95, whatever infomercial shit gets you, But I ended up buying it, and I mean, trust me when I say I thought it was going to be a lot easier and that results were going to be a lot faster. And this is how your mind tricks you, you know? This is how they get you in there. It's just like, oh yeah, it's only an hour a day. What's an hour a day? Well, dude, when you're 23 and out of shape completely, an hour a day of P90X is a lot. And oh my God, dude, it killed. It killed me. I remember being so sore that I could not move after one day. And it was like, now you want me to work out again the next day? And dude, so you do chest and back the first day, and it's 1,000,000 push-ups. And then you do your legs the next day, or I know what it is. It was plyometrics, where you're jumping around and doing all this bullshit. You do that for an hour the next day. You are going to be so sore on that third day that you will not be able to lift anything. And that's how it was. And like, then of course you put this stuff away and you're done with it, you know? I didn't touch it for years until I was back in my own place and then like found the 12 DVDs and decided to do it again. And actually, it did put me in the best shape of your life, which, odd. If you work out an hour a day, 6 days a week, you're going to get in good shape. Who'd have thought? I ended up doing it. I did it for the 90 days. And yeah, I'd lost a ton of weight. And I was drinking beer at the time too. So it still worked through all that. Like I've said before, man, young bodies are so resilient. God, that was just, that was awesome to do. But I didn't just do it that one time either. I kind of then implemented it into my routine and started doing P90X over the years a lot of times. I didn't do all 6 days. Don't let me trick you with that. 3 tops, you know. I found the 3, and then every month or so I'd alternate a couple different DVDs, so I'm hitting different spots. I learned so much from those. And not like the workout information. That's not what I'm talking about. I learned like exactly what Tony Horton's going to say in those DVDs. I learned exactly the moves. I learned when they would slip up. I learned the stupid things that they would say on accident that nobody caught in editing. Like, dude, let me tell you this one. There's this dude named Eric, and I remember watching it and being like, I recognize that dude. I know I've seen him before. And sure enough, he's from Super Troopers. And the reason I didn't think it was him, though, was because in P90X, in plyometrics, he's doing it all on one leg. One of his legs is fake. So it turns out to actually be the guy from Super Troopers, and he has only one leg. I don't know if he lost it from disease or an accident. I can't remember. Yeah, he's got a fake prosthetic leg. Anyway, during the plyometrics workout, he goes, all right, switch to the other leg. We got 2 of them. And the camera pans right to Eric's face, and he's just got this like dead stare, and it was just like, how did they not catch that? How did they keep that in? Anyway, that was just one of those funny, stupid things of it. But yeah, so what I'm getting at, P90X, I've been doing it for years. I love it. I don't go nearly as hard. I can't. I'm 38 now, but I am trying to get back into it now that I've cleaned up my life. You know, I'm not boozing, no nicotine, trying to get my lungs back healthy. So been jumping around a little bit, doing some push-ups, lifting a couple weights. Not nearly as heavy as I tried to in the past. I'm not trying to be a superhero, but it's been fun, man. It's cool as an adult to keep yourself healthy and try to get in shape and keep yourself alive, man. Do it for these kids. I'm trying to teach my kids not to just sit around and be vegetables. Trying to be proactive, and it's an easy habit to get into, though it does suck. I ain't gonna lie about that, man. I never look forward to working out. I never enjoy it while I'm doing it. The thing I do enjoy, though, is I love podcasts. I listen to podcasts all the time. The comedy ones. I like Tiger Belly. I like Bad Friends. Really, anything with Bobby Lee, you can't go wrong. I listen to YMH, Your Mom's House, you know. That's one of the best times I'll have listening to them, is I get to put my earbuds in, zone out, and just get it done, you know. My kids have been watching me do it, and my son wants to lift up the weights, and he's always showing me his muscles, and you know, it's cool. It's good. Start those good habits, man, because it passes on to your kids, and what could be wrong with that? I also did P90X with my buddy Chase, and I wanted to give him a huge shout out. So shout out to you, Chase, for quitting booze, dude. Got sober. It takes guts beyond imagine to break that habit and to get out of that cycle. And I'm so absolutely proud of you. And I just wanted to say, huge shout out to you. Keep it up. We got this, man. We'll do it together. So, fuck yeah. All right, let's get into relevant today. I like to scroll sometimes at night on Prime Video and just find weird, obscure movies that, you haven't heard of and people don't usually talk about. And I found one called Butt Boy. You heard that right? Butt Boy. How could I not click on a title and read the description of a movie that's called Butt Boy? So I did, and ended up starting the movie, and it's about a dude who's stuck in this routine and ends up going to get a prostate exam and really enjoys it, and then starts sticking a bunch of stuff up his ass. Okay? That's pretty much the plot of it, except then it starts to go weirdly, darkly odd. Like, he's walking in the park, and I'm going to give spoilers, because you're not going to watch it, or if... Yeah, go ahead if you want. It was not bad. I actually watched it all the way through, so I don't know why I'm talking shit. But he ends up going to the park and seeing a mother there with her baby, sucks the baby up into his ass, and then meets this detective at his AA group, right? He's in AA. The main character's not in AA because of an addiction to alcohol. It's an addiction to sucking shit up his ass. Ends up meeting a detective there. And then the detective starts to get the idea that this guy is making people disappear up his asshole. It sounds weird to say it out loud, trust me. I watched the movie. It was strange. Anyway, blah, 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 a bunch of stuff happens. Nobody believes the detective, of course. Who would? And the detective ends up getting sucked up the dude's asshole. Okay? It's got, like, superpower. You can suck anything up it. Detective gets out, finds his long-lost child. Finds another little Asian kid that got sucked up there. Dude, absolutely bonkers. Pretty cool movie. I can't believe I watched it all the way through. But, yeah, that's what I did. So I like finding those crazy movies like that. So I'm always on the hunt. So if you've got any weird movies out there, dude, let me know. I didn't want to go too long, so I just wanted to kind of run through that. But, yeah, that's what's relevant to me, man. Sometimes I just lay there and get caught in the trap of watching weird shit like a movie called Butt Boy. So, if you're ever curious, check it out. I kind of like the detective. He was doing, like, the De Niro type, always squinting type shit, It's actually kind of a cool character. I like the actor. Yeah, people you'd never heard of before. People I never heard of before, at least. Yeah, give it a shot if you want. Fucking weird. All right, let's get into the very end. So, obviously, my outro, I like to end by changing the song lyrics to a song, and this one is another one everybody knows. Coming at you is Paradise City by, why can't I think of it? Guns N' Roses, of course. So of course, take me down to a paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? And I didn't do a long one this time. I just did it a little one, something that just popped into my head. So it's so stupid. Take me down to a large Mount Winnie, 'cause my fast peen looks like a girl's big clitty. Oh, won't you please take me home? I know, it's embarrassing to say them out loud sometimes, but sorry. This is your direct path into my brain. There you go. Yeah, okay, so that's my show. I'll be back next week. Trying to always fix a couple things here and there. Don't forget, if you got weird, obscure movies, I'd love to see them. And as always, praise the sun! Catch you guys next week. Oh, here's my proof I do P90X. You don't get these shoulders just from jeans, baby. All right, guys. Catch you next time.